Are you addicted to classic TV shows? Did you spend the 80s sitting in front of the boob tube? Then join us for TV Tangents, where we examine television of the 20th century with barely any contemporary context. Visit Shout Engine, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts, and look for TV Tangents.
Danny watches a lot of television and movies. John does not. Listen in as she tells him about what she's watching, and he tries to make sense of it all. Welcome to Watching My Stories with Danny and John.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to Watching My Stories. I'm Danny.
I'm John.
And we are back for another week of things I've watched.
Wow, yep.
I mean, could it be more interesting?
Nope.
Let's listen to what someone else spends their time watching all day long. Yeah, that doesn't sound very exciting. What is that about?
Gosh, when you put it that way.
Yeah.
It does sound a little...
rethink this whole thing.
A little simple, but...
And this week especially, there wasn't a lot of TV on, and we're ramping up, but I feel like I don't have a lot to talk about this week, so we'll just get to it and see what's going on. Why is that funny?
That was a long, slow apology up front, I think, is what that was.
And there's an apology every time we start this.
Yep, that's right. We're sorry about this.
You need to know we take all responsibility.
Well, we should, at least of this.
It's ours, so... Okay, here we go. This week, the big movie was A Simple Favor, starring Blake Lively, Anna Kendrick, Henry Golding.
Yes.
From Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes.
Fame, and written and directed by Paul Feig, who's one of our favorites. Yep. He directed
Ghostbusters.
Brides. Yep, the best. Can't say the best Ghostbusters. Second best Ghostbusters. Bridesmaids. He directed. He did Spy and The Heat and every kind of Melissa McCarthy thing we love.
Yes.
So yeah, he goes back to Freaks and Geeks. So lots of comedy in his background, and this movie is definitely a different twist on all of that. So, this is based on a book. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess there's already a lot of people out there who know the twists and turns of this movie, and I'm gonna kind of give it away. So there's going to be a lot of spoilers here because I feel like I can't really talk about it without getting into that.
Tough to review a movie without spoilers.
Sorta. I mean, so here's the first thing I'm going to say. It was a very pretty movie. It felt like living inside Paul Feig's suit. You know what I mean? You know how neat he dresses all the time? He always has that wonderful suit on, and it's crisp and perfect and pocket square. And that's how this felt. It felt like for the first time he was able to have his full aesthetic out there where, so we have Lonk. We have, every time I do that, I gesture, people, and my hands hit the microphone every time.
Yep.
So we have two main characters. Anna Kendrick is Stephanie. And Blake Lively is Emily. Stephanie is a single mom, and she is like this one of those like crazy annoying moms who has a mommy vlog, and she volunteers for every single thing at her kids' school, and she makes and bakes, and everything's just perfect and just so. And so her clothes are like just very neat and kind of proper with collars, like Peter Pan collars and sweaters and all that sort of stuff. And she's very adorable. Okay. Very Anna Kendrick, right?
Dresses appropriately.
Sure. And so the kids are, I believe, in first grade. So somewhere 6, 7, I guess. So she has a boy. Her boy has a friend in class. Her boy is Miles. He meets Nikki, who says, "Oh, hey, we want to do a play date." And his mom is Emily. Shows up to be Blake Lively, who's in this, when we first see her, in this fantastic like 3-piece pinstripe suit
Power
with the
suit.
hat, and it's just like to die for. And of course, she's the face of Louboutin, so she wears only Louboutins in the whole movie, which is just fantastic. The shoes are just great. And she's this very kind of, she's the head of marketing for a fashion designer, and she's smart, and she says, you get the idea that she's worldly, and she curses all the time, and like she loves her kid, but she doesn't really, she's not that kind of mom, that sort of thing. And they strike up what I think both of them, they both say that they end up being best friends in a few weeks. And I think they fully both believed that they were best friends in that amount of time. Anna Kendrick says she doesn't get along with other moms. And, you know, and Emily, Blake Lively's character, has never really even tried.
Mm-hmm.
So this kind of kinship develops between the two of them. We see that they just get together, they drink martinis, they get drunk, they tell each other secrets, kind of what their darkest secrets are, you know, that sort of thing.
Ooh.
We meet Henry Golding, who's married to Blake Lively. You know, they seem to have a very like kind of hot and steamy relationship type thing.
If you were married to Henry Golding, you would too.
If you were married to Blake Lively, you're going the wrong way.
Yeah, why did I go that way? Oh, I'm embarrassed for me. Oh no. But see, that's proof that I always put you first. I always think about you.
Oh, I was thinking of Blake Lively. Nice try.
Unapologetically.
You put those two side by side? I mean, come on.
Well, you know, honestly, you put Blake Lively up side by side with anybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So,
sorry. Boy, that was a big... We digressed.
I think our dog wants to come up. Come here.
Roxy,
come here, baby. Come on. Good girl.
She wants to add to the show.
Yeah. Okay, so now she's sitting here. If you hear snorting, I swear it's her.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of the general deal. Then one day, you know, so Stephanie says to Emily, you know, if you ever need me to, you know, pick your kid up from school, you know, all that. She takes her up on it a couple times, and then finally one day she calls and she says, Emily calls Stephanie and says, hey, I need a simple favor. Can you just pick Nikki up from school? And I've got this emergency at work. Thanks, you know, and her husband was in London. Thanks so much.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 o'clock at night comes around and Emily hasn't called or shown up. And 3 days later, she hasn't called or shown up. And Stephanie calls the husband and says what's going on. And he kind of goes, well, she does this. You know, she knows that he's taken care of. She just kind of, her work will consume her and she'll just kind of be gone.
Good grief.
So Stephanie starts kind of investigating and she goes to her work. And at first she's told that she's in Miami. And then someone else says, no, I haven't heard from her. I haven't talked to her. And that starts the whole mystery of this story.
Okay.
And it's fun. We follow Stephanie. She really kind of investigates. She gets into this whole little Nancy Drew mode. And that's kind of what they call her at some point.
Uh-huh.
And so we're figuring things out. We're trying to find out where Emily is, where she's gone. At the same time, she's kind of staying in Emily's house with the husband and the kid and kind of cooking for them.
And she's not married?
And helping them. Right. Her husband died.
Okay.
And then they through clues, they discover where she was. They find a car in the lake, and then they find the body. Okay. So now Emily's dead, and Stephanie and the husband strike up this whole other relationship thing.
Oh boy.
After that, I'm gonna say there's 2 or 3 more twists in the whole thing. Nothing overly thrilling. And they reference it in the movie, so I hate to reference it here, but if you've seen Diabolique, which was originally like a French movie, but they remade it here, and it was Sharon Stone and I think Chaz Palminteri, and there was one other woman in it, and now I don't remember, but it was that sort of feeling where like the 2 women were plotting against the man, but then you'd find out that the man and one of the women was plotting against the third. Like it was just all these twists of who was really allies and who was enemies and that sort of thing. And so they do bring it up in the movie, but that is what it feels like. Just modern, a little younger. And there is this whole backstory. Emily has this full history backstory that no one knew about that ends up coming out and really being the reason as to why she disappears. So I guess I'm not going to give away all those twists and turns. It's fun. My only thought was when I was watching it took about an hour before we got to the first twist. Kind of like how it took me so long to get through that explanation. And I did check my watch, like he just listened.
That
He
was
just
a
heard
creeper.
it. Yeah. So I felt like it took a little too long to get there, and I don't know what that was, because throughout the whole thing though, it's like I said, it's very bright. It's very it's very clean. Like, they live in a very modern contemporary house. Everything's clean and bright and neat. And so it doesn't feel like one of those dark, twisty movies.
So did you mind that it took an hour to get to the first twist?
I think I did, because like I said, I checked my watch, and I know I only do that in movies where I'm like, oh, how long
Hurry
has
it
this been
along.
now?
Okay. Okay.
So I think it took too long to
Okay.
get to that point, to where I was kind of like, okay, now let's get on with what else is going on.
Right.
I want to say it was probably 50 minutes in where all of this started happening, and that just felt like it took a little too long to tell all the rest of the story.
Yeah, that's asking a lot.
But it's great dialogue. It's fun. It was Anna Kendrick's very Anna Kendrick. Like, there wasn't, any real difference in this role for her.
Okay.
Blake Lively, however, I really loved her in this. And I've seen, I watched Gossip Girl, so, look, she was very flawed in that, and very kind of not necessarily dark, but just there are moments of Serena in this character. But I've also seen her in other movies, and this one felt more like she was just kind of it felt different for her. It felt different for her.
Okay.
In my opinion. And I really liked it. I really, really liked it. I really enjoyed every moment she was on screen. I was like really enjoying it. And not just because she's gorgeous, but because of just her dialogue. And what was interesting on the way home was, remember we were watching Anna Kendrick on Fallon or someone. No, it was Daily Show, wasn't it? And
we've seen both.
And she was saying how people who have viewed this movie, they either relate to Emily or they relate more to Stephanie.
Yeah.
And so on the way home, I was just like, I was so enamored by Emily that I wonder what that says about me. Because that's what she was saying was, do you have to then watch what people are telling you, and if people are constantly like lying about themselves to you and that sort of thing? And I was kind of really drawn in by the fake person and the person who really has this mysterious past. So I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was just Blake Lively's performance for me, where I felt like Anna's, I've seen that, so it felt normal for me. But I really, really enjoyed her performance in this. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of it, and it is a lot of fun when you get to the end and the stuff is happening. It's fun. It's just one of those kind of different sort of tales, way of telling these kind of stories. Okay, so it was fun. I'm actually giving it 3 3/4 stars.
3 3/4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'll watch it again, but I don't know that it's going to be one that I watch like over and over and over again. I'm not sure.
How much of that 1 1/4 stars off is for the pace of it?
That's exactly it. That's the one issue I really have with it, was the pace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
So be it.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. So again, I'm championing. Is that how championing? No, championing.
So you're really championing.
So I'm championing these roles for women. I mean, last week seeing Peppermint, this week seeing this. Obviously on television, it's been great. So, the fact that this one's a little bit lighter and fluffier, even though it is still kind of dark and twisty, it's fun. It's just fun. And I think Paul Feig really put a stamp on it by having the aesthetic that it has.
Is it as dark as the trailers make it look like?
No.
Okay.
No, it's actually kind of fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I, of course, so full transparency, I did not see it. I didn't go.
Yeah.
So just Danny saw it. So now I have to make up my mind whether I want to see it in the theater.
He's been adamant that he doesn't want to see it, but I actually think you'll enjoy it. I do. I think you'll, because you like them, and that's the point.
I do like everybody involved.
Yeah.
And if it's not that dark or this weird serious thing,
no,
then that actually helps me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe I will.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
that's a simple favor. It's out in theaters right now. Check it out.
All right.
Okay, so the next movie I watched was last weekend. It was Sunday. I wanted something really frivolous and thoughtless and mindless, and so I chose Skyscraper.
Oh boy.
Right, that's the name of it. Right?
Probably.
God, I don't remember.
Is it with The Rock?
With The Rock,
Yeah.
and with Neve Campbell, which I loved watching. She was great.
Okay. I
But
don't think it matters who's with him in these.
hey,
Oh, sorry.
The Rock is great.
I'm not saying he's not.
Sometimes
He's
the
just,
movies he is in isn't.
he just seems to have fallen into like this disaster movie mode where
Yeah.
you know,
And I do feel bad for him for that. He needs to, because look, in the beginning, those really kind of stupid movies that people didn't like, I loved, like Tooth Fairy and Game Plan.
Game Plan was
like
a
with the
really
kid
good
with the little
movie.
girl.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I really enjoyed those movies, and
he just needs to do one of those to like clear his palate, and then he'll be back to being The Rock.
he needs to come more to the drama side, really. I mean, I think that's what I feel like, that and comedy, like the ones with Kevin Hart and stuff, like those are funny. But
Yeah.
Anyway, Skyscraper, look, I love the Fast and Furious movies that he's in. I actually enjoyed the earthquake one. What was that called? San Andreas. I enjoyed it,
You did.
and I've watched it quite a few times.
Okay.
But this one, it wasn't him. It wasn't his fault. This was just a bad movie. And
The bad was so much bigger than him.
yeah, and I don't know if the original script was like this, or if this is just what ended up happening by the time they were done editing or shooting or whatever. It
Okay.
just, so this one too, I don't even know how to explain. There's a skyscraper that's been built in Hong Kong. It's 3 times the size of the Empire State Building.
Sounds unbelievable, but okay.
Pretty much. And he was put in to be a security, like they opened the bottom half of the building and people were working and living there. He was sent in as a security person to analyze the building and that it's safe and all that sort of stuff. So him and his family were the only people living in the top part of the building. He's gone one day. There's this whole conspiracy and people come in and take over the building and set it on fire, and his family's inside. So he's trying to get in. Meanwhile, they framed him for the whole thing. So he has to get in and save his family. That's kind of the point of it. We don't find out why these men are setting the building on fire or doing anything until I think it was close to an hour and a half in.
How long was the movie?
It was probably only an hour and 45 or something. Like it
So
was
almost
like,
at the
it
end.
was the end that they start to tell us what's going on.
Good grief.
That's my biggest problem with it.
Yeah.
If I knew why these guys were there and why they were trying to take down this building and the man who built the building,
Yeah.
I'd have a little bit more interest. But the whole time I just kept going, did I miss something? Did I not?
Yeah.
What's happening here? And why do I care? I don't care yet. I don't care about anything so far. So anyway, it was all about the effects, and those weren't even great.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say about it. It was just kind of and I don't think anyone should see it.
Don't waste your time.
Yeah, there's just no reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So I'm obviously giving it 1 star.
do you have to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Has to be something. Has
Oh,
to
okay.
measure. I guess I could do
Has
a
to
half
hit-
a star.
Has to hit the board at least.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so be it. Half 1 star. We'll give it 1 star. It is still The Rock.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. So there's 1 star in it, and Neve Campbell.
And sorry, Neve Campbell. I apologize. I
Yeah.
wasn't disregarding you completely.
Yeah. So that's Skyscraper. Next movie is actually an older movie that came out a few months ago. It went, I think it was in theaters maybe, but I think it went straight to pay-per-view. And so I watched it the weekend it came out because I wanted to, again, support Whitney Cummings. So she directed this movie called The Female Brain, and also she wrote it along with Neil Brennan.
Yep.
And so now it's on Hulu, and I really enjoyed it when I watched it. So this week, again, we were looking for something to watch while we were having dinner, and I said, I think you'll really enjoy this movie. And so we watched it.
Yep.
And yeah, so what'd you think?
And I did. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, really clever. A lot of it was really on the nose. I'm sure they had psychologists involved in this, and made it very true to the
science
involved. Yeah, because there were a lot. I recognized so Whitney Cummings is a scientist who's doing studies.
She's a neurologist. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Who's doing studies on groups of people, and then compiling the data and drawing conclusions and giving talks on it. What the conclusions are.
She's also very interested in, she wants to prove that the female brain is the same or as close to a man's brain as possible when it comes to spatial activity, when it comes to sensitivity, when it comes to, drive, ambition, all that sort of stuff.
She's really, really hoping that the data shows there's no difference between men's and women's brains.
Right. So, go ahead.
Well, I don't know. You kind of stole my thunder because that's where I was going next, but that's okay. But what I noticed is as they drew these conclusions, and there were little pauses in the movie where she kind of narrates what the science is or what's really going on. I recognized so much in what she was saying to very specific traits in people that I either really, really like or really, really don't like, or whatever the case was. So it was like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so this movie literally explains a lot.
Yeah. Well, so we're making it sound like it's a science movie. It's not. It's a romantic comedy.
It is.
It's just she's basically the main character, but she's this neurologist, but we're visiting a couple that's dating, which is James Marsden and Lucy Punch. We're visiting a couple that's been married for 12 years, which is Sofia Vergara and Dion Coles. And who's the other couple?
Blake Griffin and
and Cecily
Strong.
Yes. Yeah, so Blake Griffin, the basketball player, from what I'm told.
Who didn't... Yeah, he's a basketball player.
Yeah.
He dabbles in basketball.
I was like, when I was telling him, I was like, I think you like this movie. That guy is in it. The one that I thought was married to Kim Kardashian. I didn't even know.
I think he was married to Kim Kardashian. I think he still plays basketball.
Yeah. Well, which one was married to her?
Griffin. Chris Humphries.
Oh, see, that name doesn't ring a bell at all.
Well, it doesn't ring a bell with most people.
Okay.
He was like a B star.
Oh, okay.
Blake Griffin is a full-on A star.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, he's really funny in this.
And he really is. He's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. And Cecily Strong, they're married, and they've been married for a year. And so she's basically taking us through these couples to be like, this is why she's behaving like this right now. Mm-hmm. And right now her, adrenaline is going, so she's behaving like this. And Whitney Cummings' character herself was married and was dumped. And so she's trying to live a life like that she doesn't need any sort of human companionship. And this guy comes in for a study.
Yeah, who's that guy?
I don't even know, but he's fantastic.
Seen him on other stuff.
I think he's English, actually.
I love him. He's really good.
He's so, you just want to love this guy. I mean, he's so lovable, and I just want to be like, yeah, hello.
Hey, if that redneck with the beard and the baseball hat is British,
I believe he is.
That's an amazing acting job. Then
I'm gonna look it up. So anyway, it is this kind of romantic comedy between all these characters. The couples, if they're fighting, if they're getting along, and then Whitney Cummings' character, is she gonna be able to give in to human affection?
And as much as I talked about the science involved, it is a romantic comedy. It's very funny. There are a lot of very, very funny scenes in it. And the premise, the science, her being a neurologist and stuff, that it's just such a compelling storyline and plot line and premise for a movie. It just works really, really well. Yeah,
it really does. It's a very smart thing. Yeah. And he's English.
That's unbelievable to me. That guy was so American.
Good. Yeah, he was really good. He was very adorable.
Man.
So yeah, it's, I really... Whitney Cummings and Neil Brennan wrote this. Neil Brennan is in the movie as well. He's Cecily Strong's boss in the marketing company.
Oh, hate that guy.
You hate that character.
You're supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, hate that character.
So they just did a really good job of kind of covering both sides, really. It's called The Female Brain because that's what she's investigating, and it talks a lot more about female responses in our brains versus how it relates to men's. But I think Neil Brennan writing this also gave them the male response to what these women are doing was really funny as well.
It was.
Yeah.
And very spot on.
Yeah.
It's so relatable. It's ridiculous.
It's really enjoyable. So I give it 3.5 stars.
Oh, I give it 4 stars.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And hats off to Whitney Cummings.
Totally.
Whitney catches a lot of shit for a lot of stuff. But
she does?
Yeah, she does. There are a lot of people that really don't like her.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There are a lot of people that just... So get into a conversation with your girlfriends and just drop her name. And people either love her or hate her.
Huh.
And at least the people that I know.
I didn't like... I liked her show, Whitney, but I didn't like Two Broke Girls. It wasn't my thing.
Yeah, see, I don't know that she had as much to do with that as she did with this movie.
Showrunner.
I understand that. I know, but it was for CBS. And they have definitely a formula, and she is trying to get along with Les Moonves. So I rest my case. Done.
Okay, we're not going to get into that right now, but yeah, she did a great job. It was good. It looked good, and it's fun, and it's on Hulu called The Female Brain. Everyone should go check it out. It's just a good time. It's fun, and I do think guys will like it as well.
Definitely.
I really do. Yeah. There's I think the funniest scene to look out for too is when Whitney goes on her first date with this guy Kevin, and they come back to her house, and she's kind of thinking like she doesn't want to get into a relationship, so she says she's thinking I'm just gonna have just sex with this guy to get it over with and whatever. So she takes her shirt off, and his reaction.
Yep.
It's so funny because it's so real.
The way he finishes that scene is gold.
It's so funny. It's a great scene. So definitely check it out on Hulu. It might be on Netflix too, but I saw it on Hulu. And it's worth it.
She is very well put together.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
She is.
She's gorgeous.
But she has a fantastic... I'm not... Now I don't know how to finish this because I don't want to objectify her. But she's got a great physique.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
So
that's all we have to say.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So that's all I have for movies this week.
Okay.
So we're gonna move on to television.
Okay.
So I've talked about Castle Rock on here before. I think when it was starting or when it was in the first few. Are you gonna sing Fraggle Rock? Is that why you're laughing? See, I knew it. I said Castle Rock, and he got a little grin on it. His little 6-year-old grin.
I turned to the side. I was going to start belting out down to Fraggle Rock.
Okay,
but I won't.
Yeah.
Oops, too late.
So Castle Rock finished this week, and it was perplexing. So the whole show was kind of perplexing, but I was just in for the ride. Like I was just going along, and then the next to last episode is where it kind of went, and I was like, oh, okay, so they're explaining it to us now.
Okay.
And of course I texted my sister. I was like, oh, they explained to us what's going on. And she was like, what happened? She didn't understand. So I had to call and talk to her. And now it turns out that maybe that was just a story and maybe that wasn't really true. So then in the finale, it was first off, my first reaction after it ended was I was very disappointed. But I went online to do some research to figure out if I really fully understood what happened or not.
I can't believe how much. See, you and I just watch TV differently.
Yeah.
Man, if I ever feel like I need to go on the internet and research a show I'm watching, besides a Bigfoot show, that's unbelievable to me. Sorry.
Well, yeah, you're not a fan. That's why we
I
are
don't
on
think
here.
I don't think most fans do that though.
Then why are there a million things? Like go on there and Google Castle Rock, and I was able to find. I went through 5 or 6 articles, and there's a million more.
Okay.
So,
you know what? I'm probably wrong.
I mean, people are doing this, especially with shows like this where again, why is there a Talking Dead? Because afterwards we want to talk about the shows that we love.
Yeah, I guess so.
So,
all right. Yeah, I think I'm probably immediately proven wrong.
Immediately.
Which is fine. I mean, I'm used to it, so it's all good. Just strike that last minute from the record. Nobody will ever know.
Yeah. So it turns out there were a lot of people that were disappointed by the ending, and then it turns out that this whole kind of story that they were telling, which was basically that there were 2 timelines, and the guy that they were keeping in a cage, which I think I told you about, that John Locke had this guy in a cage, which is Bill Skarsgård, which was Pennywise. So as I'm talking to my sister about this, I'm like, oh, Pennywise was in the cage by John Locke, and she's like, what are their character names?
You mixed at least 3 different things there. Wow.
But that's
Yeah,
so
all right.
If they make an impact, they make an impact. So there were 2 timelines, and 2 people crossed into the others, causing all these problems, and then one couldn't get back, and that was, I can accept that. That makes perfect sense to me. I get it. I watch comic book shows and I get multiple universes. And so that made sense to me. Now, when I go online and read, it was more about, do you believe it or not? Like the guy was telling a story and that it might not be true at all. And I was like, okay, that disappoints me even more. So it was a really fun show. It was good. It kept my interest every week. I was excited to watch it. I liked it. Now they're doing a second season. So, what was her name? The girl from Don't Breathe.
I don't know. I didn't see that.
I know.
Sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah.
I can try to fill some dead time here.
And the other thing is that this had a great cat. I mean, Sissy Spacek was amazing. Melanie Linsky was great.
Sissy Spacek, holy cow.
And I felt like,
she's making a comeback because she's in something else now too. Isn't she in that Robert Redford movie? His last one that he's doing?
Yeah.
You're like, she is, and then like you knew the whole time.
Jane Levy, yeah, the girl. She was on that sitcom, Suburgatory. Did you ever watch that?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, with, she's good.
Yeah.
With
Jeremy Sisto. No.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, it was him.
Yep.
I liked that. That was cool. That was funny.
So she was playing. Her last name was Torrance in Castle Rock.
Okay.
Which Jack Torrance, Danny Torrance in The Shining, which I know you wouldn't know. So she kept mentioning her uncle. So it turns out that Jack was her uncle, and she loved writing a book. She loved writing. And at the end, it appears she's writing a book, and she says, maybe I need to go back to where it all began. And so it sounds like she's going to go to the Overlook Hotel, which is where The Shining took place. So
her last name is that, and they're going to actually use that?
He was her uncle. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the second season could be really interesting and a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was Castle Rock.
What's it on?
Castle Rock?
Yeah.
It's on Hulu.
Hulu, okay.
Yep.
Man, they got a lot of good shows on lately.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next show I watched is on Amazon Prime called Forever with Maya Rudolph and Fred Armisen.
Yep.
Just came out yesterday. It's 8 episodes. They're a half hour each. Very easy viewing. And this was one of those weird shows where the trailer didn't really tell anything about it. And so no clue going into it. And it was fun. It's a really quirky, interesting, odd show.
Would Fred Armisen do it if it wasn't?
But it was like, I had to keep watching.
Okay.
So it was like, I don't know why. So again, here's huge spoilers because again, you aren't really told anything about it, but I'm going to tell about it now because it was really interesting.
Okay.
So in the first 15 minutes of the first episode, we see the entire journey of their relationship. We see them meet, we see them date, we see them fall in love, get married, and be married, and they fall into a rut. And then they got a lake house for the weekends, and they started getting excited again, and then they fell back into a rut. Now the rut was really only being experienced by her, and her name was June, Maya Rudolph's. And so one weekend, they're supposed to go to the lake house. She's like, let's go skiing instead. And he's like, you can tell he's the perfect Fred Armisen, Mr. Boring, vanilla.
Yep.
Can't get out of his routine type person. No one else can play that like he can.
I'm not even sure that's acting anymore.
And so finally he comes around. His first reaction is, but I've already told everyone at work we're going to the lake house. What am I going to tell them when they ask? That's his reaction. And she's like, you can tell them we changed our minds. And he goes, hey, are you going to the lake house? And he's talking out loud. He goes, oh, we changed our mind. We're going to go skiing instead. And he goes, yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
So this is who we're dealing with.
Right.
So they go skiing. They're both beginners. They have to take a beginning class. She doesn't like it. She goes to the bar. He decides to take one more run. He runs into a tree. He's dead.
Oh, no.
That's the first episode.
Oh my God. Okay.
Second episode, a year later, she's still mourning. She's just upset because she thinks she caused the whole thing because it was her idea to go skiing, all that sort of stuff. But she finally decides to get out of that rut. She gets a promotion at work. She's going to Hawaii for work. Things are starting to look up. She's in first class for her job, and she chokes on a macadamia nut. She's dead.
That's not a macadamia nut.
So
oh, man.
Now she wakes up. She's in what they call Riverside, which actually looks a lot like Riverside, in this little neighborhood. And Fred Armisen is there. And he's like, hey, you're dead. And we're together now. And
hey, welcome to Riverside.
They're
honey.
like in this little neighborhood, and it's a neighborhood that we find out has been cleared out because of mold. So no one's lived there for decades.
Cleared out because of. So this is the afterlife.
It's here on Earth because they run into what they call currents, people who are currently living. They can't see them, but it's here.
Okay, I'll hold questions until the end.
So they live in this neighborhood, and there's other people, there's kids that have died. There's people who've been here since the 70s. There's, whatever.
Are there pets?
I don't see any pets.
Oh, boo. Sorry,
so,
I'll hold questions.
That's okay. So they start their life again. And at first she's thrilled to see him because she was really mourning him. She was really missing him, like I think most people do when someone dies. And they start the same thing, and he does his crossword puzzles, and then he starts making her the fish dinners again. And all this stuff happens where she's just like, oh my God, I'm in it again. Here I am again. And so then other things happen. Like Catherine Keener moves in next door. Basically, Catherine Keener dies, so she moves in next door, and she's someone who wants to like figure out this whole death thing, and Maya's just like, yeah, why are we we do the same 5 things every single day. And she says this to him, and he goes, yeah, and I like it, and so it's this big question, right? Of like, I love you forever. Do you really, like, you know what I mean? Like if you're in a rut in your marriage or in real life,
right,
and you die, you're going to continue that same sort of thing. Like, do you really want to spend forever, like literally with that person? Is that how you want to spend whatever you think happens afterwards? Like,
it'll be interesting to see how many people change how they sign birthday cards and stuff and Valentine's cards after seeing this.
Right. Like even best friends forever. Do you really want to be with them
I
forever?
love you forever.
I mean, it does make you think about that whole thing a little differently.
Right.
And so they go through some ups and downs, and there's another place, there's Riverside we're there, and then there's Oceanside and different people, and it takes you through this whole kind of journey of their relationship. And it's interesting to think of it in death versus in life, because in death there's not a lot of consequences, right? So you
wouldn't think so,
right? So say the things you want to say, stop pretending, basically,
right,
which still takes a long time for them to get there. And it's interesting. It's just, and it's 8 episodes, half hour each. It's a very quick thing, but it's compelling for some reason. And Maya's so wonderful. And again, that's not a surprise at all.
Right.
I mean, I've loved her in everything. And how many times do I watch Away We Go every week? Probably 2 or 3 times every week.
Your 2 favorite people.
So I'm not surprised at all by her being so great in this, but it just is. It's just one of those.
Okay, good.
So, yeah, it's a quick watch. If you're looking for something, it's on Amazon Prime, called Forever, and definitely worth checking out. 4
hours of your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Can do that.
Totally. So, that's all I really have for TV.
Okay.
Very, very slow week. There are a couple things I want to talk about that are coming out this week. So, Monday is the Emmys, of course. So, looking forward to that. Colin Jost and Michael Che are hosting. Should be a lot of fun. On Monday, I'm probably going to be putting out on social media, my main picks, just to reiterate that from our Emmy show. Then the show that John's also looking forward to, called I Feel Bad, which is produced by Amy Poehler.
Yep.
And that, I think that's Tuesday or Wednesday, but that's on NBC. It's a sitcom. It looks so funny, and it's got great people in it. It does. And let me see.
Did you mention The Good Place?
No, because that's not coming back yet for a few more weeks.
A few more weeks. Okay.
Well, that might be the week after next.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to that show.
Yeah. I'm excited for that.
Can't wait for that to get back.
And then on Friday on Netflix is the show Maniac with Emma Stone and Jonah Hill. And it's
I don't know anything about this.
It's a very interesting, weird premise. I think it has to do with gaming. I really don't quite understand the trailer entirely.
I need to look at the trailer because I like both those people.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's Superbad reunion, really. Yeah.
She was in Superbad?
she was the girl they were after. That's why they were going to the party, to be with her.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I remember seeing it.
Oh,
All I remember that is Seth Rogen and what's his face, Christopher Mintz-Plasse or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
McLovin.
That's
all you remember?
Yeah.
Oh, you need to watch the movie again.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah. So, so that's on Netflix on Friday.
Okay.
It doesn't look like my type of show, but because of them, I'm definitely going to give it a shot, and I hope it's great because I want to watch it for them. We'll see.
Well, can you wait for me then? Because I think I want to give it a shot too.
I will try.
I know what that means.
We'll see.
I know what that means.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all that's coming out this week. It's a slow week, but the week after next is going to be huge. So
all hell's going to break loose.
We're going to get started really quickly on the fall stuff. Okay. So now we're going to get into our Actors Corner.
Actors Corner. I love that.
Yeah, he does. And because of a simple favor, this week we chose to do Anna Kendrick.
Yep.
So we're going to run through the categories that we talk about every week. And John is not prepared, so he's on his phone trying furiously to figure these things out.
I think I know what I have going for her, but I didn't write them down, and my lack of memory is epic.
Epic.
It's one of my. Everybody who knows me knows my memory is just crap. So.
Okay, so we're gonna start out with the movie I love.
Okay.
Are
you said you were gonna go first.
Oh, I did.
You did.
Okay.
We talked about this.
This was also tough because I think I've seen almost everything she's been in, and I kind of love almost everything. So this was really tough, but I chose The Last 5 Years.
Mm-hmm. Good choice.
Which isn't a surprise,
yeah.
But it's a musical with her and Jeremy Jordan. We've talked about it on here before. It was one of my favorite off-Broadway musicals from over 10 years ago, and it's a great musical, great movie. Definitely check it out. I know that's on Netflix for sure, called The Last 5 Years. So that's the movie I love. What about you?
The Last 5 Years.
You're choosing that as your favorite of hers?
That's because it's the movie with her in it the most.
Huh.
A lot of her movies are ensembles or she's not like the lead.
Yeah.
Right? So that one you get a lot of her in it, and it's fantastic for all the reasons you just mentioned. So yeah, that's my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's a really good soundtrack. It's her singing and Jeremy Jordan really good songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
Okay. A movie I like. I'm going first again?
Yeah,
Are you just going to copy me down the list?
Well, it depends on what you pick, but the odds are not great.
So this one's one that's probably just recently changed in my list because I watch it once or twice a day. Oh, our dog's coming up again.
Here she comes.
Okay.
There she comes. There's a lot of people walking past right now, so we wouldn't be surprised if she talks.
She won't bark. So the movie I like I'm choosing is Table 19. So this is a very small movie that didn't get any attention, and I love it. And now it's on HBO or one of those, and I literally can watch it once a day. It's with her and Wyatt Russell and Phoebe. Lisa Kudrow's in it. And what's his name from The Office? Craig Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just this sweet, sad, and then sweet again movie that I love it so much. I really do. It takes place at a wedding. I just love it.
Stephen Merchant is the best.
And Stephen Merchant. Yeah.
He really is.
You
I love that guy. Oh, and I just saw a trailer. Sidetrack. I just saw a trailer for something. Oh, I think it's the latest Dragon Tattoo movie. Uh-huh. He's in it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was surprised to see that he's in it in a serious movie so much. Yeah. So I'm kind of interested in that. And it's Claire Foy.
Yeah, I do want to see that because of Claire Foy. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, sidetrack.
Yep. Back to a movie you like.
I'm gonna say Into the Woods. Yeah. The Is that a fairy tale?
I can't believe you're not picking Pitch Perfect for these.
See, it was between that and Pitch Perfect.
You've seen those so many times, and these others you've seen like once or twice. I'm very shocked.
No, I've seen Into the Woods several times.
Oh.
You just haven't been around.
Wow. I don't know what to think about that.
Okay. So anyway, Yeah, it came down to the Pitch Perfects. The first, probably the first one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could have gone either way. I guess I went with this one, but I reserve the right to change my answer later if I get stumped by something, and I have to use that for something else, and then go back to Pitch Perfect for this one.
Okay.
So
next, I think, is a movie I hate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's easy.
It is?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The Twilight movies.
Oh, see, I'm going to use those too then.
But you haven't seen them.
I haven't. We had this discussion last night.
I just don't think you should be allowed to say that you hate something you haven't seen.
I think you should, because if you haven't seen it, there's a reason. And why haven't I seen it? I don't like it. I don't like the idea. I don't want to.
What's the idea? Do you even know?
It's good-looking people who turn into werewolves, and yeah, who needs that?
Turn into werewolves.
Yeah,
that's not really it. But okay.
It's not.
No, they just are werewolves. They don't turn into them, and they're vampires. It's both.
Pick one. You can't be a werewolf and a vampire.
That's what she's supposed to do. Bella's supposed to pick between the vampire and the werewolf.
That's as bad as Bela Lugosi. Just pick one and go with it.
Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, he did all the Dracula and all those movies back in the 50s.
Okay, so anyway,
and with Lon Chaney.
I didn't like them because I don't like the people, and I didn't like the main character. She was such a weak little brat. It just annoyed me.
The Kristen Stewart?
Yeah. it was just, yeah, she was just so weak, and always the boys had to come in and save her. It was just annoying. Mm-hmm. Okay, so movie I secretly love. Mm-hmm. Trolls. Okay. And it doesn't have to be a secret, but I freaking love that movie. I've watched it so many times. I love it. She's so cute in it. It's just adorable movie.
Okay. So for me, that's going to be Table 19.
That you secretly love?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. See, I'm shocked by that, because when we watched it, you were just kind of complaining about it the whole time, that it was depressing. And
yeah, but
you've watched it more now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm always watching it. So it's like, he has no choice.
That's right.
Okay. Movie you're embarrassed to say you haven't seen.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Oh, I guess I was supposed to go first.
You were? Well, that would be great if you did.
So here's the thing. There were very few that I haven't seen. So I just kind of had to pick one. Mm-hmm. And I am kind of embarrassed because I did want to see it. It's called Digging for Fire. It was with her, and I think she was a small part in it, but it was mainly Jake Johnson and what's her name? Rosemary.
Oh,
Ron Livingston's wife. If they're together anymore. Anyway, it looked like a really good movie when it came out. I just haven't seen it yet.
Pike.
No, that's Rosamund Pike.
Oh.
So that's also on my next category, which is what are you adding to your watch list? It's Digging for Fire, because I've seen everything else.
What's the category?
You're embarrassed to say you haven't seen.
Oh, yeah. So for me, it would probably be The Accountant.
That was really good.
I know it was good, and you keep telling me it's good, and I haven't seen it, so I'm a little embarrassed.
Yeah, could be because I'm an accountant, though. No, there's really good accounting in it. It really, I don't. Could I be more boring?
Oh my God.
But they did a really good job. Isn't that funny? Okay, so, and what movie are you adding to your watch list?
Oh my God, I have no idea. Oh, that's too funny.
I don't know why that was so funny.
Oh my God, that's too funny.
Can you explain that to me?
Oh,
I can't believe.
Who picks out accounting in a movie?
Oh, because it's normally so stupid, but this one they did it right and real with the right. Forget it.
They made it so real.
You know what? If you were watching people designing satellites and they were screwing it up constantly, you'd get angry about it. And then the one movie where you were like, oh, they did that right, you'd be excited about it. It's just the same thing. It's whatever you do for work when you...
So there was that one movie where they did, oh, no, it's never happened. And there's a reason for that.
Okay. Are you going to say anything about your watch list?
What's on the watch list? Oh, movie I'm adding to the watch list?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everything of hers that I want to see, I've seen.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into my honorable mentions. Drinking Buddies is a really great little movie that she was in. Her, Jake Johnson, Olivia Wilde, and was that Ron Livingston? No, I'm confusing them both. That was a fun movie. Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
Yeah.
Love that movie. Watch it a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. We talked about Into the Woods. The Pitch Perfects. I can't believe that together have probably watched Pitch Perfect, the first and second ones, 100 times.
Oh, yeah.
Together. Yeah. Let alone how many times we watch it separately.
Yeah, if they're on, we'll stay on.
And I can't believe those didn't make either one of our lists because those
could have been the ones I secretly love.
I don't know why it's a secret. So I'm just going to mention that, and then there's Up in the Air, of course, where she was nominated for an Oscar. The first movie I ever saw her in, though, was a movie called Camp. It was a small little thing. She was very young, and it was about a musical theater camp and all these kids, and I loved the movie. And she belts out Ladies Who Lunch from Company, and I never forgot it. So as soon as Up in the Air came out and I saw her, I was like, that's the girl from Camp. She can sing, and I was so excited. Mm-hmm. So I was really thrilled when she, made it because I knew she would.
So it looks like there's a Robert Redford movie, The Company You Keep. That she's in.
Her and Shia.
Okay, you saw it? Mm-hmm. And it was good?
It was okay.
Oh, okay.
And she was I'm not sure I remember what she did in that one.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She does a lot of those where she's, like there's her in The Hollers which is John Krasinski's movie. He wrote and directed.
Okay.
Again, she played the girlfriend, but it was really more about the family.
Life After Beth.
I didn't like that movie. That was unenjoyable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't remember what she was in that. So yeah, I think she's been in a lot of the smaller movies.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's our Anna Kendrick Actors Corner.
I'm so thrilled it's in a corner.
Yeah. So, small week, not a lot going on, but we still managed to fill up an hour.
That's what we do.
Yeah. So, there's a lot more going on. Oh, I'm also halfway through the show The First, which is on Hulu with Sean Penn. So, I've got the second half to go, and then I'll be talking about it more. But if you want, go check it out.
I think I'm going to try to catch up.
Okay.
Not sure yet.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah. So that's it for this week. We're heading into Emmy week. It's very exciting, and we will see what's next week for movies. Oh, the House with the Clock in Its Walls. I'm not sure if I'm going to see that or Life Itself, which is a smaller movie.
Life Itself. Who's that?
Olivia Wilde and Oscar Isaac.
Yep.
And yeah, that looks. I think I'm gonna go see that probably instead of the House with the Clock in Its Walls.
Yeah, see, I think I want to see the House with the Clock in Its Walls.
I really do want to see it.
Just looks
but
cute and compelling.
If I have to sit around kids, it doesn't go so well.
Yeah, you probably don't want to go to a 9:30 showing on opening weekend of that.
Yeah, it does look really good though.
But it's Jack Black. I mean, come on.
For me, it's Cate Blanchett. So
so you got a little bit of everything there. It's Jack Black. He's going to be entertaining as hell, and it's Cate Blanchett who's just flipping awesome. Right. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, if you want to go, I'll go see that with you.
We'll see.
Yes. And then it goes, no, we'll wait.
We'll do that after I catch up on First.
See how close we were. So close to getting out of the house.
Yep, almost.
Okay. That's everything this week. Thank you guys for listening again.
Gosh, we're sorry.
Subscribe. Catch us on our website, watchingmystories.com. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And that's it. We will be back again next week. Until then, I'll be watching my stories.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good one. Bye.